right. It's the Joes once again bringing the fantasy thunder. Another week 15 coming up. And my main man Dave is on the phone here with me. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, how's the people? How you doing?
We're doing all right, man. Well, man, I was just talking with Dave, and whatever it is out there, the powers the be is trying us today. They didn't want us to have a show. Everything was going wrong. But listen, we're here for the people every week for you guys. Continue to come back and support us. We do appreciate you. We're going to shoot through it tonight because we're getting a very late start here. So we're going to shoot through some things. So not a whole lot of fluff tonight. We do want to thank you guys for coming back and listening. Thank you guys for supporting the show throughout the season, those who have came back. We ask for your continued support. And once again, we appreciate you guys. We do appreciate the people also behind the scenes helping to get the word out about the show and doing some of those extra things we're going to get into later on. Do like, comment, and subscribe. Be interactive with us. We certainly do appreciate that as well. You can visit us on Instagram, Average Joe's Fantasy Football _ between each word, and on Facebook, the Average Joe's Fantasy Football Podcast. We do want to answer your start-sit questions or whatever you may have in mind. With it having been said, I do want to mention that someone did answer the question. I spoke last week and told you, Dave, that we were going to go ahead and give it to him. He said, is it the Rams? That is the correct answer. I hated the way that he answered it, but then he didn't come back and give me a song. So we'll be waiting on that. Hopefully we'll get that song at some point in time, and we can go ahead and play that for that winner. We did not have anybody answer the question of the week for the Hers Creamy Ranch Habanero, but we'll have another question of the week this upcoming Monday, which is probably championship week for a lot of you guys. So those who are in the championship, come back, get the advice, go ahead and dominate your league. We also do have a listener league coming up. We do want to mention that again. It's first come, first serve. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook. You can email us. I'll drop the email in the comments for this video. And also, you can visit us right here on YouTube and drop your name, and it's first come, first serve. Well, let's get right into it, though. Like I said before, we're getting started real late. Don't want to miss the game at all. We're going to do the Week 15 preview for you. We're going to talk about the Monday night game, and we're also going to do some starts and sits, and one of our favorite segments, Am I Crazy? So let's go ahead and jump right on it, man. Start with the first game, Dave. The Green Bay Packers versus the Bears. Now, I'm not quite sure how to feel about this game. Typically, I'm pretty opinionated one way or the other. And considering the Bears just shut the Rams down, and the Rams have one of the most prolific offenses in the league, how do you feel about this one? How do you feel about Green Bay?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the road as well as it comes with this. And just watching last week, I think I heard something come out say that Aaron Rodgers was kind of calling his own plays last week, majority of the game.
Yeah, that was evident.
Right, exactly.
The three runs in the first half,
yeah. We are throwing the ball. I'm making a statement. It looks like, Green Bay is just in shambles right now for me as far as the team, really. You haven't gotten the production out of Aaron Rodgers that you wanted all season. And it doesn't look like, even though McCarthy's gone, they don't have the time to to necessarily fix per se those problems. And this isn't the team you want to be practicing new stuff against, going against that Bears defense. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to look at because you kind of go back and think about when the Bears played the Dolphins. And what the Dolphins were able to do of all teams, that's just one team, but you kind of have to think about that. So, I think I saw, or I was thinking that MVS. It doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers is really a fan of MVS.
Right.
I think he played on 46% of the Packers snaps last week. So I think as long as Rodgers is calling the shots. MVS isn't much of a guy you even want to take a shot on.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. A couple of players on the Packers side. And I was going to ask you, anybody besides Adams you even want to take a stab at?
Yeah, no, outside of Adams, not really. Not this game. I mean, if you have Aaron Jones, you might be in a position where that's a guy that you kind of have to play. But Bears were able to stop Gurley. I mean, if they can stop Gurley, I think they can stop pretty much anybody.
That hurts. It probably hurts a lot of folks. Definitely hurts me when I'm down Melvin Gordon. The news just came out that Melvin Gordon is not going to go tonight. Wouldn't have mattered. I would have played Aaron Jones anyway, but it would have given me a lot more, a much better feeling about my week going in. Aaron Jones is going to be my top running back on my team going into these playoffs, and he's going against the Bears. It's like the toughest run defense in the league, or one of them at the very least. So it hurts a lot. But he's been having great games, even besides the fact that Aaron Rodgers has been called his own plays last game, and Aaron Jones just did not get the ball much in the first half. He still salvaged his day with a couple of really good big runs and a touchdown.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how things go against the Bears. I'm not excited about it, but hopefully he can still have a 13, 14, 15-point game somewhere around there. I feel the same way about the pass catchers for Green Bay. I'm not too high on any of them. And that's a lot that has to do with the offense as well. The offense has not been as dynamic as it's been in years past, so where it kind of, it fed two different receivers, maybe even three different receivers. You do have Randall Cobb. That is interesting. He's come back. He looks healthy. He had a called touchdown, or that touchdown last week. Are you willing to take a shot at him?
Yes, it's just this matchup here is like it's the only thing that's making it tough for me. Against another team possibly, but no, this week if I have a better option, if I have maybe I would probably roll Tyrell Williams tonight over Randall Cobb in this particular situation.
All right, and let's talk about Chicago just real quickly here. I mean, the only thing that makes me feel that there's a shot for Green Bay is Trubisky is coming off this injury. Chicago's offense has not been all that awesome either. There was a stretch there where they were looking pretty good, but lately not so much. I don't know. Who do you, I mean, can Howard go off here? Is this a game where Howard can take over? Kind of a slow. I'm not sure if you can call a game with Green Bay slow, but who's going to lead the backfield?
Yeah. Going back to week one, Howard was able to have an all-right game. I don't think he got in the end zone, but he had an all-right game, 17 touches. But I think this is just going to be same old Bears doing the same old things. Hopefully, the first time they played the Packers, they tried all this extra stuff, and it was a little bit of everywhere, and I think they simplified it since then. I expect Cohen. I think you have to, at this point, expect Cohen to be a prolific part of that offense. Before the news came out today that Allen Robinson practiced today, I was thinking that Trey Burton might be able to have a good
Trey Boo Boo.
Well, he's done well when Robinson wasn't playing, but it looks like Robinson's gonna play. So I think this is just as far as the backfield goes, though. If it's not Cohen, I don't really think I'd take a look at Howard.
Man, I had such high hopes a lot of people did for Trey Burton.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he salvaged a lot of his weeks with getting touchdowns, however they came. So he was respectable, but it just hasn't happened for him here as of late, and it's very disappointing. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Let's talk about the Vikings and the Dolphins here. I hate this game for the Dolphins. I really do. I just don't see it going well for them. I think the Vikings they're both fighting for playoff spots, but I think the Vikings have this. They've been disrespected. There's a lot of questions now surrounding Kirk Cousins, what he's supposed to have done for the team,
right?
Blah blah blah. And I feel like they're going to come out and throw elbows and knees and bite and punch and kick. And don't get me wrong, the Dolphins have shown they have some moxie. They just pulled out a miracle win against against the Pats. But I feel like this is going to be a game where the Vikings dominate. I also see possibly Dalvin Cook having a really good game. How do you feel? Who do you see?
Yeah, absolutely. On the Dalvin Cook take, I like him a lot this game, and I think the pressure's on Kirk for me. They have every reason. There's every reason why the Vikings should really take care of business against the Dolphins. Miami's 25th against quarterback, 22nd against receivers, 29th against the run. I mean, the defense isn't there. The Vikings have a top 5 defense, which I actually didn't know that when we were talking about last week when I was talking about Vikings defense. And for me, I think this is the game where we see it. They were a sneaky top 5 defense for me, and I think this is the perfect week for them to show we're still a solidified defense, and we're going to get it together. I think this is, if not now, then never.
Yeah.
And I see, definitely, like you said, with Dalvin, he's been the only bright spot the past couple of weeks with Kurt not playing too well, and I think he'll turn it around and get it going.
Yeah. It's going to be, like I said, it just feel like it's going to be ugly for me. I mean, the Dolphins, to me, don't have much of an identity on offense outside of we're going to give the ball to Frank Gore. And he had a pretty decent game last game. I can't take that away from him, but even still, I could see him getting another one of those games, 15 touches and 40 yards against the Vikings. So if they don't have that, I'm not sure if they know what to do. Kenny Stills to come back and have a really good game, show the flashes, what we were hoping for more from him this season, but he's been injured on and off. And even a lot of the games he's played, he hasn't had that great of an impact. He did have a few big ones at the beginning, but then he kind of tailed off. So you never quite know what you're going to get. Kind of schizophrenic offense. And again, they don't even play their best player all that much unless they need a 52-yard scamper and score. So maybe if they get in that situation, you'll see Drake. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Let's talk about the Dallas. I'm really intrigued by this game. Dallas Cowboys and the Colts. Dallas is surging. And I mentioned a few weeks ago on one of the shows that the addition of Amari Cooper has completely changed the complexity of this team. And I'm struggling to think of one player being traded mid-season to another team and having this drastic of an effect on the team. Can you think of one in the past where mid-season, boom, I totally turned their season around?
Yeah, no, not mid-season, not in football. I haven't seen anything like that. I didn't expect this. And I actually am more excited about this game than I want to admit.
Yeah,
since it is the Cowboys. This is hot team versus hot team. I know the Colts lost that game to the Jaguars, but before that, they were on a 5-game win streak. Came back, turned things around against a hot Texans team. Cowboys are on a 5 or 6 game win streak. It's fantastic. I like it a lot. I'm super excited to see what we're going to see from these guys come Sunday.
I think on the Dallas side of the ball, you know what you're going to do. Cooper, you're going to play Zeke. You may have a question or two about Dak. I'm not sure if there's anyone you want to compare him to on this particular week, whether you would start him or not. Actually, I do. Would you start Dak or Cam?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's so tough. If I had to just say something, I would probably go Cam, and that's just. I would have
being a Cam owner, and we're going to talk about them in a minute, so we're not going to jump too deep. But I feel this the other way. Like I feel that even though Ezekiel Elliott is the man there, that they now have a passing attack, and I think that the Panthers' passing attack is just. I'm not sure it's anemic right now. The whole thing surrounds and orbits around CMC, and he's running the ball in more than ever. And Cam is a little bit hurt. I'm gonna talk to you about him a little bit more here in a minute, but I think Dak will be the guy. So you probably have some situations where you'll roll Dak in front of anybody else, but really on the other side of the ball is the question. How confident are you in Mac, and how confident are you in T.Y. Hilton in this game?
Yeah, both of those guys. I'm more confident in T.Y. than I am in Mac. I'm very scared for Mac this game. He's had 2 poorest games prior, and now they're going against the top 3, the 3rd ranked rushing defense in the NFL to the date. And for T.Y., they're going to find T.Y.'s going to touch the ball, obviously.
Yeah, had a great game.
You're going to roll him out. Absolutely. And they're going to move him around. They're going to find a way to get the ball. My thing is the keeping Andrew Luck on his 2 feet is going to be key number 1. And the Dallas, they have this Byron Jones guy, this corner. He's a long corner. And I think that will make some throws difficult when he's matched up, when T.Y.'s matched up with him. Of course, T.Y. has the speed. But other than that, you got T.Y., big, strong Ebron. So I like T.Y. I do. I like him, but I'm not a fan of Mac this game at all.
Yeah. I'm kind of down on Mac as well. He had those two really, really nice games. They came back off of injury earlier this season. I think people kind of fell in love with him, and hey, he's back, and Mac Attack, whatever you want to say. And he hasn't quite been that great in any other game since. I think he's had a couple of touchdowns that made him okay, but no, since week 12, T.Y. Hilton has been having some amazing games.
Absolutely.
Going back here just real quickly, see if I can pull this up. Trying to find it real fast for you guys. Week 12 against the Dolphins, T.Y. Hilton, 7 receptions, 125 yards. The next game, I believe, was 9 receptions, 77 yards. Week 14, in this last game, week 13 was not 9 receptions. This is against the Colts, which is a horrible game, but he still had a decent stat line in this game. He ended up with 10 receptions, 8 receptions, 77 yards. So I did have that close. So it still gives you 15 points, PPR.
Right.
You'll take that. And last game, we all know this big, huge game he had. I think it was 9 receptions, 199 yards. So I like T.Y. a whole lot. He's definitely one of my guys that I would have out there above a lot of other guys. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that I would really compare him to, but he's certainly going back into that wide receiver 1 conversation. All right, man, let's go ahead and move on to another really... Oh, do you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention one thing. We were talking about Dak. I actually was going through, and the 3 of the past 5 weeks, just to kind of throw this out there for those who are thinking about Dak, 3 of the past 5 weeks, Dak has been a QB1, and 2 of those 3 weeks, he was a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
So he's been playing really well lately for you guys that have Dak and are thinking about who to start.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Pats and Pittsburgh. Another really, really good, intriguing game. Pats took a loss last week. Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken, they lost last week as well. Let me double check myself here, but I don't think they've been looking too good the last couple of weeks here. And, they lost to the Raiders of all teams. So I think you're going to get the best effort from each one of these teams coming out here.
Absolutely.
But here's an interesting question. For those of you who play on Yahoo, would you put if you had to start one, do you want Gronk or Samuels as your tight end?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think in normal circumstances the obvious answer would be Samuels, but I don't think it's that obvious this game. I would actually probably go with Gronk just because of the history between these two when they play against each other. Gronk seems to have pretty good games against the Steelers, somehow finds the end zone, especially Brady and Gronk are starting that surge again, and at any point in time, Gronk can give you 20-something, some odd games.
Yeah, I just simply can't turn down the 15 touches he's going to get in my tight end position, man. I would put Samuels in my tight end position in a heartbeat. And you're probably right. Gronk probably has a little better of a game statistically and fantasy-wise, but you just got so much. I mean, outside of Eric Ebron and every now and again Zach Ertz or, Travis Kelce, what tight end touches the ball 10 to 15 times a game? None of them. Like you gotta put it in there. And Yahoo was so crazy. I could see them for the majority of the season now because he didn't matter. But we now know he's a starting running back. Like you have to change his designation. I don't understand it. But
somebody get in and realize, do your job. Just 2 letters.
Change it.
Take them off.
Bam. That's it. Now, what about Tom Brady here? Now, this is, early in the season, I would have said, you got to keep up with the Steelers here to have a shot. You got to score some points. But again, lately, not so much. How are you feeling about Tom Brady? Over, under 1.5 touchdowns in this game. So 2 touchdowns or a bust.
I like Brady for about 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
I think it's just what I'm expecting from a Pat Steelers game is hard, hit you in the mouth. We gon', we're better.
Yeah.
No, we're better. This
Yeah.
type of, attitude. I was when I was going through it, I love Josh Gordon, I love James White, and I love Gronk this game. Absolutely, I love them a lot, and I think all 3 of them get a touchdown apiece, which is where my 3 comes from.
Nice. That's my man Edelman out. I appreciate it, man. I think he's gonna have a good game. That's the guy that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy that I'm counting on. And I actually think he's gonna have a pretty good game. But yeah, the three people that you mentioned are certainly great candidates. One thing that I just have a feeling though. There's one thing that I was thinking, and there's nothing to back it up because Steelers have not been great against running backs. But I don't feel this is a Sony game. For some reason, there's something inside of me saying I don't like Sony in this game. And this should probably be a I would sit so you start kind of a situation, but there's just something there. I don't know what it is, but I don't like Sony so much in this game. I mean, if I had him on my team, I'm definitely starting him, but
right, but not happily.
Yeah, I feel that beware feeling on him on this game. Anyhow, do you have anything else about it, man?
I think. Oh, I wanted to say this, and of course, once again, I know I come with these odd things, so let me start off by saying I'm not telling you guys.
Qualify yourself, sir.
Do not sit this guy. Like, you're obviously rolling him out. He's been fantastic. But I have, just like you have your feelings, I have a feeling that we see Juju kind of struggle this game. I think AB's going to get his and do his thing against the Patriots, but for whatever reason, I just feel like there's going to be some kind of situation or some kind of game plan or something. Obviously, they're going to focus on AB more than Juju.
Man, I feel the same way. You've seen Dumb and Dumber, correct?
I honestly have not, so I can't.
No. Okay, that is an assignment, sir. Sometime over the Christmas break. Okay, when you go watch, it's always on TV. You have to watch Dumb and Dumber. Anyhow, at one point during the movie, Jim Carrey, who's the co-star with I forgot the other guy's name off the top of my head here, they like this girl, and the friend knows that Jim Carrey really likes this woman, but somehow or another the friend ends up on a date with the girl, and Jim Carrey finds out. So they're sitting in the hotel room, and the guy's getting ready to go on a date with the girl, and he's trying to hide it from him and not tell him. Jim Carrey takes some laxative, some X-Lax, like super lax, something like that, and pours it in his tea. That way, while he's on a date with this girl, he is like farting and pooping and going to the bathroom and blowing it up, and Jim Carrey is laughing his head off. Well, that's what's going to happen to Juju. AB hates Juju. I've already said this numerous times on the podcast. He's putting some X-Lax in Juju's water. Something's happening here. Couple pills, and Juju's not going to be able to get it going. AB wants his targets back. He wants his targets back. Yeah. Trust me. But this could be a game where anybody struggles. It's going to be two hard-hitting game. These two teams always come to play. We'll see how it goes. All right, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the Monday Nighter. We kind of mentioned Cam Newton a little earlier, but this is New Orleans versus the Panthers, and I pray Cam starts to get better and this offense turns around a little bit. I really need him this week, quite honestly. And, I said a couple of weeks ago, I felt like the Saints had hit a plateau as far as their offensive production or their play as a team. Now, they haven't been bad, but they haven't been quite as, just insane as they were at the beginning of the season. Do you think this is going to turn into a game, especially since the Panthers are trying to cling and hold on to possible playoff spots?
Absolutely. I think, and that's what I was, when I was going through the notes, that's exactly what I wrote down. I see every reason why the Panthers should seize this opportunity. They're at home. It's a division game, playoff hopes. The Saints and Panthers, they have this animosity towards each other or what have you. Saints are, like you said, they're starting to slow down. Cam has everything to prove right now. Even with his injury, he's got to show it. So, I think I actually have this, as one of my perfect upset games. I think this is a perfect game for the Panthers to kind of shock the world, kind of like what Dallas did. Shock the world and beat the Saints and give them their third loss and just kind of, I don't know if I should say humble. I think the Cowboys humbled the Saints, but just kind of show, we're not little brother in this division. Like we still are going to give you that game and show up when it matters.
Yeah, if it wasn't for, obviously everything surrounds this slide they were on. But at the beginning of the season, you thought the Panthers were just one of the better teams in the league. They can stick with anybody. And I'm not sure if it was the injury or whatnot. I maybe it's just a thought. And maybe it's the thought is inaccurate or biased or whatever. But when CMC became the focal point and not Cam, it felt like this kind of took a step in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he gets the ball a little too much, and he does great things with the ball, but I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. It just feels off. And again, it may have a lot to do with Cam's shoulder.
Yeah.
He's never been all that accurate, but perhaps even less accurate now. He was having one of his best statistical seasons with accuracy. I attribute that a lot to North Turner. But something's just a little bit off here. I'm hoping they can turn it around, definitely. With that having been said, let's talk about that passing game real quick. Who would you rather have in your lineup, DJ Moore or Samuels?
DJ. But I like both of them. I definitely like both of them, but I want to go with DJ just because of when I see Curtis Samuel, I'm not necessarily classifying as a gadget player by any means, but I'm looking at him as more of my we'll find a way to give him the ball and hopefully he makes a couple plays, whereas DJ, I'm expecting him, to have good crisp routes or beat a guy or this, that, have you, and be more of the first look as opposed to Curtis Samuel being the, second, third look.
Okay. All right. I have a differing opinion just a little bit. I think they're a lot closer than possibly we're giving them credit for. And it's one of those things where it's helter-skelter. We don't know which one of them is going to have a good game. DJ Moore could go off for 8 and 100 or can get 2 and nothing. And Samuels has seemingly have been the most consistent to me, even though he hasn't put up some of those huge numbers, the most consistent of the two the last few weeks. But I suppose we'll see. All right, my friend, unless you have anything. Oh, I do want to ask this question. There's one more question I want to ask. It's another either or. Who would you rather have between the two running backs, Alvin Kamara, or would you rather have CMC?
I'm going with. Oh my goodness.
CMC.
I'm going with Kamara.
What?
And there's only
that is true and genuine surprise, people.
There's only one reason why. I think that, and of course CMC is going to be used a lot, but I think that the amount of usage that they're going to give to Kamara this game, because I was going through and looking, Michael Thomas gets majority of the targets, then Kamara gets them, and then everybody else is just like one target here and there. So you have every opportunity for Kamara to get 7, 8 targets, 5 or 6 of those catches, and possibly 2 or 3 of them touchdowns while running the ball. Now, CMC's getting volume as well, but I just think that there's going to be an overwhelming amount of volume for Kamara. It's hard not to choose him over CMC, but it's close for me.
Let me tell you one reason why you're wrong. Can you name the top 3 PPR running backs right now?
I would imagine I couldn't, other than Gurley, CMC, and I don't know the other guy.
Saquon Barkley. Guess how far Christian McCaffrey is away from the number 1 spot in PPR points?
Oh, I have no idea.
12 points. 12 PPR points away from being the number 1 running back in fantasy PPR. Yeah, I'm going with CMC. I cannot turn away from the volume. They let C.J. Anderson was a 1,000-yard rusher a season ago. Now, he didn't catch on with Oakland or whatever. Look, that's fine. That's coming in mid-season, whatever. But he was a 1,000-yard rusher. You can't tell me this guy can't get on the field. See, Christian McCaffrey must have blown him out so bad. They said, we don't even need you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if he gets hurt?
No, I get it.
What? I mean, is he that great? I mean, you don't even need a backup running back.
He won't get hurt.
They give him the ball
impossible.
over and over and over and over, and they don't care. So yeah, man, I'm going CMC. I'm going volume. I'm that kind of a guy. All right, well that's going to end the week 15 preview here. Let's go ahead and jump into our starts and sits of the week, and got a couple of shockers here. A couple people I typically don't choose, but I'm gonna let you start it off, man. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm kind of the same with you. My first guy is Derek Carr.
Oh,
we talked.
Snippety snipe.
Hey, there it is. Gotcha. Yeah, we talked about it. Past couple of shows. You know, he's been playing really well, and they're going against a porous Bengals defense. So I mean, it's his perfect opportunity for him to continue on this trend that he's been having the past 2 games.
Yeah. I like Derek Carr a whole lot as well in this game, and I don't know. Again, maybe it's addition by subtraction kind of a thing for both teams with Dallas and Oakland. Amari Cooper is gone, and now Derek. Now again, he's not been playing against top level defenses, but hey, the NFL, all the games count. So he's been having a few good games. You got to give it to him. I like him in this game as well. I kind of thought you were going to snipe me, so I came up with a backup. I am all aboard. Full board. I've drunk the Kool-Aid. I haven't seen it once, but I am this weekend. Josh Allen, I like him to have another good, decent game. 1 interception, 1 touchdown, and a rushing touchdown for 100 yards. Like, he's reeled off like 300-yard games back to back to back or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. No, it's something like, I know he broke Michael Vick's record for rushing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah, I've seen the crazy thing on Instagram this weekend where it was like, and forgive me for not having the numbers 100% correct, but Josh Allen in 8 games has 490 yards rushing, and Shady McCoy in 12 games is like 430. Like, it's something crazy.
I saw that.
like that. Like, wow, you have to put that in perspective, and especially thinking about people who, you know, may have put some time or drafted some stock in Shady McCoy. Like, golly,
right.
400 yards for a starting running back to decline that much. That's insane, because he was one of the ones you were counting on to be at least a top 15 back, but neither here nor there. All right, man, my second guy, my running back here is Dalvin Cook. We spoke about him earlier. I think this game against Green Bay, this is going to be another game where they can rely on him. If Green Bay does not turn it on offensively, they can run the ball a little bit more, and that's what they may do. Take the load off of Kirk Cousins' shoulders a bit, try to run this ball. And I think they tried to get to running the ball a little bit last week, if I'm not mistaken. That was one thing they wanted to do. Didn't quite come around, but I like him. I like him in this game coming up.
Yeah, I think they have, like we talked about earlier, like you said, you know, they have every opportunity or every reason why Dalvin Cook should have a tremendous game against these Dolphins. So I'm right there with you on that guy. My running back is Chris Carson. For me,
okay,
the volume in Seattle is just everlasting for him. It doesn't matter. You know, they turn around and hand it to him as much as they can. And the Rashad Penny situation does not scare me anymore. You know, he comes in and he has flashes where he looks good, but they always return home to Carson. So I like Carson.
Yeah, against the 49ers, that's a really, really, really good pick, man.
Yeah.
Who's your wide receiver?
Yeah, so this one is kind of different for me, but I like Corey Davis going against the Giants.
Yeah, that's a shaky one.
I think Taywan Taylor's had 2 or 3 good games recently, and I think solidifying his role as the downfield, you know, stretching the defense kind of guy is going to help open things up for Corey Davis. And again, they're going against the Giants secondary, which isn't the best. And at the end of the day, Corey is the guy that Marcus Mariota looks for in clutch situations down the stretch, what have you. So I think Corey can have a big game.
He gets a decent amount of targets. And earlier in the season, he was one of my regrets that I regretted not trading for him because he had a big week the week after. I could have traded for him, but I didn't take him. And then he kind of tailed off again, which kind of made me feel good. Hey, listen, it's a selfish game. It's a selfish game. So I felt good that he didn't go off because I didn't trade for him. But he has his moments. And now that Jonnu Smith has gone out with the injury, um, they may utilize Corey Davis a little more in the middle of the field. I guess we'll see. Or maybe Derrick Henry goes for, I don't know, what was it, 12 and 200 again? Who knows? Maybe that's the new game plan. If you need to rip off a 99-yard run every game, man, can you do it? Absolutely. But I guess we'll see. But yeah, Corey Davis, that's a tough one. I have a hard time. I think I was I made him one of my starts of the week one time, and it didn't happen for him. I stay away from him with that offense and with Mariota as the quarterback. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that happens. My wide receiver is Doug Baldwin. I kind of went with opposite seeds with you here.
Okay.
You went with the running back.
Yeah.
You got body playing against San Francisco. Someone's going to have a good game. Doug Baldwin's been kind of quiet here lately, but this is truly, and I'm not kidding around with this one. Normally I am playing around. This is truly one of the games where Russell Wilson can have 15 passing attempts and 3 touchdowns. And I think one of those probably goes to Doug Baldwin. My tight end, I told you, I'm riding down with this dude for the end of the season, which is ain't number 2 more games, but it is what it is. I got Jared Cook. We think that Derek Carr is going to have a good game, and I think his guy is cooked for the rest of the season here. I like him to have another 6-7 receptions.
Absolutely. I love Jared Cook, and I purposely didn't write him down because I knew you were going to snipe me, so I went elsewhere.
Oh, man.
Yes, I love him.
I like the strategy. I like the chess game you got going on there. I don't want to get sniped, so I better do something different. I like it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this next guy is not really my start of the week, but I like him. I think he can have a good day, and it's Ian Thomas for the Panthers. Okay. I think he can have a pretty good day against the Saints defense. And like we talked, I mean, we already basically covered it. This is every reason for the Panthers to upset the Saints, have a good game. Ian Thomas had a good game last week. I think he had 5 or 6 catches for about 70 yards or what have you. So, and I think he's playing really well. And Greg Olsen's absent, and so I think he can do really well.
Sounds like a plan. I like him as well. And who's your defense?
I'm actually going to let you go first because I feel like you're going to snipe me. So I'm going to give you the opportunity because I wrote down 2, so I'm going to give you the opportunity.
All right. I'm going with the Bills defense here
against
the line. Oh!
There
Oh!
it was. I knew it.
Perfect.
I knew it.
Headshot, baby. Oh, man, yeah. I think great minds think alike. Yeah, I like the Bills to be able to hold the ball. The Lions have not been good all season, then especially since Golden Tate's left. Even I see people now even putting Galladay on the bench for a person like Dante Pettis. I promise you, they're asking that question: Galladay, Pettis, or Jalen. I'm not Jalen. I'm sorry, or Curtis Samuel. So I'm like, my gut says you still got to roll who's supposed to be a stud and go Galladay. But that just shows how far this Lions offense has fallen here. And the Bills have a stout defense. Don't get it twisted at all. They're not a very great team overall, but they can play a little bit of defense. I like them, and especially if Josh Allen is extending plays with his legs, they can keep drives going, keep whatever Lions offense they have off the field here. I think this could be a lower scoring game.
Absolutely, I'm there on every part of that with you. We're not expecting to see any Kerryon Johnson either, so I don't think there's much of a threat in the run game. Like you said, the Bills' defense has been the bright spot throughout the entire season, even when Josh Allen was hurt or learning, what have you. So, yeah, I love the Bills' defense, especially get a couple of turnovers. Fantastic. So my second defense, if I came prepared, is the Houston Texans going up against those Jets.
Yeah.
I think that they can have a phenomenal game,
Absolutely.
Get back there on Sam Darnold or McCown, whoever's going to be throwing the ball, and get some turnovers.
Yeah. That was one I was looking at as well. I felt it was a little too
obvious.
Yeah, it was a little too obvious.
Yeah.
But look, you gave me a chance to snipe you, so I'm not going to go there with you. That's a great backup. But yeah, that Texans should tear them in two. You got, if I'm not mistaken, Crowell. I don't think he's going to go again.
No, he's not going.
Yeah, they got some more injuries to the wide receiving core. I think probably out of the list of 4 or 5 big name rookie quarterbacks that came out, I feel like the Jets. Sam Darnold. I feel like
Yeah.
he's been probably the worst of them. Him and Josh Rosen are maybe neck and neck, and I'd probably give a
Right. I agree.
slight little nod to Rosen on this one. So I don't like him at all against this really good Texans pass rush, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, my sit of the week is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they have a really good matchup against the Cardinals. I just don't believe in the Falcons offense anymore. I just don't. The last 3 weeks, you know what? I'm going to give you an opportunity. This is just going to be a blind guess. I'm not sure if you looked it up or not. Total points in the last 3 weeks. Add them up for the Falcons.
For the
Total points scored
17.
for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
No, that ain't that bad. I mean,
I was
17 divided by 3 is like 8. 6.
I'm trying to guess right, you know.
No, you went way to the left. No.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, for an offense with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and all that great stuff, they've scored a combined total that's 47, 53 points in 3 games. That's 20 points 3 games ago, 17-16. And I hope.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, 17 points in 3 weeks is horrible. That sounds like the Jaguars. I didn't say they were terrible, man. I just said it wasn't good. Am I doing my math right? It's 37 plus 10 is 47 plus, yeah, so 53 points. But for on a Falcons offense that you in your mind over the last few seasons, you relate Falcons to offense. You relate them to having that, even if it's a high-scoring game, 35-30, that kind of a thing. For them to have 53 points in 3 weeks, which is probably an average of maybe 19 points a week, something like that, just not getting it done. I don't believe in the offense anymore, and I never really did believe in. Well, I did a couple seasons ago. Then he burned me, and I don't believe in Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I did not know that they had fallen off like that. Their offense does seem to be struggling. And
2017-16. Those are the last 3 weeks scores. That's not getting it done.
Nah, not at all. My sit of the week is Gus Edwards.
Okay.
I know a lot of people picked them up and they're excited about him. I think that the Gus bus is starting to run out of gas, and I think Kenneth Dixon, popped a couple of holes in one of the tires and saying, "Look,
bad enough, so he probably got on it." And I mean, look, the last running back that's been that big that was any good was Jerome Bettis. Do you feel like he's Jerome Bettis?
Absolutely not. No, I wouldn't dare say anything like that. I think that the Ravens personally are big, huge fans of Dixon, and I think they're going to give him every opportunity to get this away from Edwards moving forward, give him more targets, more volume, and we just, we already haven't seen Gus in the passing game. We talked about that a lot, and Gus hasn't scored since his big breakout game, and so I see Dixon taking that away from him.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, I'm on the same page. I'm very uncomfortable with Gus the Bus, and I call Dixon fat. I'm just being funny here. He's not. I'm fat. Trust me. I can get to the gym and hit it. And look, I talk about Frank Gore. He's 36. I'm the same age. Don't get me wrong. But for a football player, he's fat, and for a football player, Gore, especially a running back. In running back years, Gore is 70 years old. People he can't be getting the ball 20 times a game. Anyhow, all right, man, those are the starts and the sits. Let's go ahead and jump over to the Am I Crazy? I got one guy I want to talk about here. We got the game getting ready to come on, so I want to shoot through this. Am I Crazy is simply someone that you're looking to sit for someone else or something crazy that you may think that may be off kilter and you want to check yourself. So I'll let you go ahead and start off with the Am I Crazy?
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to go with the big one for me. Am I crazy to start Zay Jones versus the Lions over Cortland Sutton versus the Browns? this week. We've seen Zay Jones doing pretty well with Josh Allen lately. Cortland Sutton's the only thing there, though, so.
That is a good question. I was a fan of Zay. Well, I'm not a fan. I was looking. I had hopes for Zay Jones a couple of years ago, about a year ago actually, and he had his problems with drops and things of that nature, but he's been coming on. I think he has just as good of a chance to have a good game as Cortland Sutton does. Even though Cortland Sutton at this point in time has become the only show in town, it just hasn't been a very good show. You asked for your money back after that show. And he did have a pretty good game. So I think they both have equal opportunity. I'll say go with the one that has the best matchup.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Am I cuckoo? Am I nuts? Am I too on board with Jared Cook possibly sitting Adam Humphries against Baltimore defense?
No, I don't think you're crazy. No. I think if, you got the Adam Humphries going against Baltimore, I think that, are you saying sitting Cook for Humphries?
No, sitting Humphries for Cook.
Okay, yeah. No, I would go Cook being the show there. Yeah, I like Cook.
Well, you might be changing my mind here because I got Humphries in right now. It's hard for me to take him out because he's been doing so good. He didn't have that great of a game last game, but even last game, I think he had something like 3 receptions for, and this is an off game for him over the last few weeks. But Humphries had 4 receptions on 8 targets. For 42 yards. So he still got you 8 points on a bad game, but he had the second most targets on the team with 8. So, wow. Check this out. I didn't even know this. Chris Godwin, who was one of my starts of the week. I'm not so sure if it's my start of the week, but I had him in one of my teams. I put him in as a guy I thought was going to do good. He wasn't start of the week, but I put him in over a few other people. 10 targets. Can you guess how many receptions?
Well, I didn't even know he had 10, so I'm going to say he didn't have that many receptions. I'm going to go with 4 or 5.
I'm going to give the down arrow, my friend. 1. How do you have 10 targets and 1 reception?
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Wow.
What is this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are
they counting the practice targets on the sideline? Like,
yes. What happened before the game?
Right.
A couple
in warm-ups? Like, what is that? Jeez, I don't know if that's bad. Anyway, all right, guys, we got to get out of here. The game was coming on. Dave has to get some medicine in him. I got to get myself together here because I got in late. Listen, we appreciate you guys coming in. Visit us on Facebook. Like, comment, subscribe. Be interactive with us. We definitely want to talk with you guys. As always, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Dave, do you have anything else for the people?
Enjoy your football, everybody. Fantasy playoffs this week, so make sure you pay attention to who's playing on Saturday. Get them in or out of your lineup before Sunday games start.
Absolutely. Have a good night. Signing off.